Hello students, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the phenomenon of refraction. After studying the phenomenon of refraction, we will have to study about the lateral shift produced in a glass slab. Then after that, we will have to study about the apparent depth of an object and about the early sunrise and late sunset. So here we consider a ray diagram. In this ray diagram, this is medium 1. We have considered a medium here that to be 1, another medium here 2. Okay. This is the interface. This line is the interface between the two media, that is medium 1 and medium 2. This line separates the two media, medium 1 and medium 2. Now, we have considered an incident ray along this direction. This incident ray is coming and striking the surface, striking the interface at this point. Okay, so if we draw a normal at this point, at the point of incidence, then this would be the normal. This is the direction of the normal. Okay, now if a ray is incident at the surface or at the interface between two media, then that ray may either be reflected or it may be transmitted. Okay, sometimes both cases may happen. So a part of the ray, a part of the incident light gets reflected into the same medium and another part gets transmitted into the second medium. Okay, so here what we have, this light is coming and striking the surface at this point and it is going back into the same medium from here. So this is the reflected ray. We get a reflected ray here. Okay, and this reflected ray follows the laws of reflection. So if this is the angle of incidence, then this angle, which is the angle of reflection, will also be equal. So here we have the angle of incidence and this is the angle of reflection. If transmission occurs, then the ray would strike the surface at this point and it will get transmitted into the second medium. If the ray gets transmitted into second medium, then what happens is the phenomenon of refraction occurs. Now, if this ray is incident at the surface and it gets transmitted into the second medium, then the direction of the path of rays gets changed. Why? Because the speed of light is different in different media. The speed of light is different in this medium and the speed of light is also different in this medium. The speed of light is not the same in these two media. Therefore, the direction of the path of light gets changed. Okay. Now, if this is a rarer medium and the second medium is a denser medium, then this refracted ray would bend towards the normal after reflection from this surface. And if this is a denser medium and this is a rarer medium, if the first medium is a denser medium and the second medium is a rarer medium, then what will happen? This ray will, the reflected ray will bend away from the normal. If the second medium is a rarer medium, then the reflected ray will move away from the normal or it will bend away from the normal. And if the second medium is a denser medium, then that ray will bend towards the normal. So this is the phenomenon of refraction. Why does it occur? Because the speed of light is different in different media. Now, if we are going to study the laws of refraction, then we know that it is similar to the laws of refraction. So we will not consider the reflected ray here. We will just consider the reflected ray. And here we have this angle to be the angle of refraction. Sorry. So this is the angle of incidence and this is the angle of refraction R. Now, what are the laws of refraction for these two pair of media? The first law, as we all know or we have studied in the earlier classes, that the incident ray, the refracted ray and the normal at the point of incidence always lie on the same plane. So if the incident ray lies on this plane, this is a two-dimensional plane, this board is a two-dimensional plane. So if this ray is incident on this plane at this point, then what will happen? The reflected ray will also lie on the same plane and the normal also lies on the same plane. Okay, if the incident ray lies on this plane, then the reflected ray cannot go in this direction, the reflected ray cannot go in this direction or it cannot go in any other direction. It will just be on this plane or the same plane. So the incident ray, the normal at the point of incidence and the refracted ray always lie on the same plane. What was the second law? The second law is nothing but the Snell's law. So in Snell's law, what do we have? The sine of the angle of incidence. We take the ratio here. So this is the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction. And if we take this ratio, then this ratio is always a constant for a given pair of media. So if we take the sine of the angle of incidence and its ratio with the sine of the angle of refraction, then we get a constant quantity which is called the refractive index of the second medium. This quantity is sometimes written as mu, sometimes it may also be written as n to 1. Here n is the refractive index and here medium 2 and 1 means the refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first medium. Refractive index of second medium with respect to the first medium. Sometimes it may also be written in this way. Okay, in some books you will find this notation. So what does this mean? This is the refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first medium. First medium is the incident, is the medium in which the incident ray is coming. Okay, and this is the second medium. In the second medium means the medium in which the ray is getting refracted. So sometimes you may get all these three notations in some books. Sometimes you may get this or this notation. So after all, we'll have to know the Snell's law. And what is Snell's law? Snell's law is nothing but the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is always a constant, which is also called the refractive index of the second medium. Okay, this ratio is a constant for a given pair of media. The next thing that we have to discuss is refraction through a glass slab. In order to study the refraction through a glass slab, we consider a rectangular glass slab here. This rectangular slab is made of glass. On this side we have air, this is glass, and on this side also we have air. So glass slab is surrounded by air medium. Therefore, here we have if an incident ray is incident at this point, this is the incident ray. This incident ray is going and striking this interface at this point. So this incident ray will suffer two refractions. That means it will suffer refractions at two interfaces. Here, see, on this face we will have we will have one interface between air and glass, and on this surface we will have another interface between glass and air. So here we have an interface between air and glass, and here also we have another interface between glass and air. So the ray is traveling from air to glass at this point. Okay, so it will suffer refraction. Similarly, this incident ray gets refracted along this direction. So this is the refracted ray which is traveling inside the glass slab. As it reaches this surface, this will suffer refraction because it is traveling from glass to air. Therefore, this incident ray, this refracted ray also gets refracted at this point. So since this is a rarer medium, therefore this ray will bend away from the normal. Okay, so what we have seen overall here is we have an incident ray along this direction. If we draw a normal at this point of incidence, then this will be the direction of normal. So the angle between the normal and the incident ray is the incident angle of incidence, that I have written as I1. Okay, this ray is traveling from air to glass. Air is a rarer medium and glass is a denser medium. So this refracted ray will bend towards the normal. This was the normal, so this incident ray would have traveled along this direction, but now since it is suffering refraction, therefore this ray will bend towards the normal. The refracted ray will bend towards the normal. Okay, so we have seen here that there is a change in the direction between the incident ray and the refracted ray. It means there is a change in the direction of the path of light as it suffers a refraction at the first interface. Similarly, when this refracted ray reaches this point, at this point, if we draw the incident angle, then we'll have to draw a normal at this point. If this is the normal, then the angle between this incident ray, which is the refracted ray, this is the incident ray for the second interface. Therefore, this is the incident ray and this is the normal. The angle between the incident ray and the normal is taken to be I2, which is the angle of incidence for this surface or this interface. Okay. Now, as it suffers, as this light is coming from glass to air, so at this interface, this will also suffer another refraction. If it suffers refraction, then what will happen? This is glass, which is a denser medium, and that ray is traveling from glass to air, which is a rarer medium. Therefore, the refracted ray will bend away from the normal. So, this is the direction of the refracted ray, and we call this ray, which is coming out of the glass slab, to be the emergent ray. So, in this diagram, we have an incident ray here, a refracted ray inside the glass slab, and an emergent ray. And see that the emergent ray is always parallel to the direction of the incident ray. The incident ray would have traveled along this direction, and this is the direction of the emergent ray. And this emergent ray is parallel to the to the incident ray. Okay, for a glass slab. Now, if we draw the perpendicular distance between the direction of the incident ray and the emergent ray, this will be the perpendicular distance. This is the perpendicular distance between the direction of the incident ray and the direction of the emergent ray. So what we can see, there is a shift in the direction of the emergent ray. Okay, the incident ray was along this direction, and now we have a shift of that ray from that direction to here. Okay, so here we have the emergent ray, and this is the direction of the incident ray. The distance between, the perpendicular distance between these two directions, or the direction of the incident ray and the emergent ray, is called the lateral shift. This is a very important topic, and this is also very useful for your lab works. In the next part, we will have to study about the apparent depth of an object. For studying the apparent depth of an object, we consider a given pair of media. This is medium A and this is medium B. Here, medium B is an optically denser medium, or medium B is an optically denser medium, and medium A is a optically rarer medium. So this medium is denser compared to the medium A. Now here we consider a point object at the bottom of the second medium. This point object O is at the bottom of the second medium B. Okay. Now, if a ray is coming out from this point object, then if that ray is incident normally on the interface between medium 1 and medium 2, or medium A and medium B, then what will happen? This ray is incident normally on this surface. So this ray will travel undeviated. Okay, it gets transmitted into the second medium without suffering any deviation. If we see this object obliquely from this side, okay, if we see, or if we observe this object, this point object obliquely from this side, we keep our eye here and we see this object from this side. So what will happen? If a ray is coming out from this point, if the ray is coming out from this object and traveling along this direction, this ray is incident at this point. Okay, if we draw a normal at this point, then PQ will be the normal. What is the angle of incidence? The angle of incidence is the angle between the incident ray, this is the incident ray, and the normal, this is the normal. Okay, the angle between the incident ray and the normal at the point of incidence is called the incident angle. So this will be our incident angle, that is I. Okay, now this ray is suffering refraction from, while traveling from glass or denser medium to rarer medium, we can say air. Okay, so this ray is suffering a refraction from denser medium to rarer medium. It is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. So what will happen? The refracted ray, this is the refracted ray, it gets bent away from the normal. Okay, this was the normal, so it gets bent away from the normal. So if we draw the, if we write the angle of refraction, then this will be the angle of refraction. It is the angle between the normal and the refracted ray. So this is the angle of refraction. So if we observe this refracted ray from this point, then what will happen? If we produce this refracted ray in the backward direction, then we will be able to see the image of this object at this point. Okay, this ray, this is the refracted ray. The refracted ray would appear to come from this point. Okay, this will be appearing to be coming out from the point I instead of the point O. Okay, so the ray is actually traveling from the point O along this direction. It is traveling along this direction, is getting reflected at this surface and traveling along this direction towards our eye. But it seems as if this reflected ray is coming out from the point I and not from the point O, because this ray forms an image of the point O at this point, which is the point I. So this is the image of the point object O. So what we can see here is the point which was actually at the point O, or the object which was actually at the point O, now appears to be raised up to the point I. Okay, so this was the original depth of the object. This was the original depth, or the real depth of the object. The real depth we can say to be AO. So here I have written here AO is the real depth of the object. Similarly, now we have seen that the object appears to be raised from the point O to the point I. So this was the denser medium. If we measure its depth from this surface, then AI will be the new depth of this object. Okay, this is not actually the new depth, but this is the apparent depth of the object. So AI can be considered as the apparent depth of the object. So what we have seen here is that the object which was actually at the point O, which is at the bottom of the second medium, now appears to be raised up to the point I when viewed obliquely from this side. Okay, if we observe it from here, if this is our eye, if we observe it from this side, then the depth remains the same. But if we observe it obliquely from another direction, then what will happen? The point object appears to be raised up. Or if we place a coin at this point, then the actual depth of the coin is not the same as its apparent depth. This coin appears to be raised up in this medium when viewed obliquely from another direction. So, but if this was the actual depth of the coin at this point, then its apparent depth will be here. That means the image of the coin will be formed at the point I. So, what will be its new depth or its apparent depth? That will be AI. So, I have written here AI to be the apparent depth and AO to be the real depth. Okay. Now, we will have to derive a simple formula for the apparent depth of an object. In this diagram, the refracted ray is traveling in the medium A. So for this medium, we will have to calculate the refractive index. What will be the refractive index of the medium A with respect to the medium B? We can denote that as this. Okay. So this is refractive index or mu of medium A with respect to medium B. We have written here the ratio of sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction. So refractive index of medium A with respect to medium B will be equal to the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction. Okay. Now if we reciprocate the direction, then what will happen? We take reciprocal of this. That means this will become refractive index of B with respect to A. Okay. This is refractive index of medium B with respect to medium A. That will be equal to, just reciprocate this. So this will become sine R divided by sine I. In this diagram, angle AOB, this angle is I. Similarly, angle OBQ, this angle is also the incident angle I. Okay. Here angle AIB, this angle is the refracted angle because this is also the angle of refraction. So this angle and this angle will be the equal. Okay, so if this angle is angle of refraction R, then this angle will also become angle of refraction R. So I have written here angle AIB, that is equal to angle PBC, and that is equal to R. Here C is this point. This is C. Okay. Now if we take sine of the angle of incidence from the triangle AOB, we will get sine I, that will be equal to AB divided by OB from this diagram. Okay. Similarly, sine R will be equal to AB divided by BI. From which triangle? This is from triangle AIB. Now, if we substitute these values in this equation, then we can get the refractive index of medium B with respect to medium A. So, we will just have to substitute the values of sine R and sine I in this equation. Now, if we substitute the values of sine R and sine I in the equation for refractive index, then we will have this equation. This is refractive index of B with respect to medium A. That will be equal to sine R divided by sine I. If we put the values of sine R and sine I here, then sine R was AB divided by BI and sine I was AB divided by OB. Here AB and AB gets cancelled. So what remains is OB divided by BI. This is the refractive index of medium B with respect to medium A. Now, if the point B is very close to the point A, if this point comes very close to the point A, suppose this is the point B. Okay. For this diagram, when the point B comes very close to the point A, then the distance OB and the distance OA will be almost equal. Okay, and this point, if the point B lies here, which is very close to the point A, then this is called near normal incidence. Okay, because the light will go in this direction from O to the point B instead of this direction. So this direction is almost close to the normal incidence, right? So what we call this it is called as the near normal incidence. If B is very close to the point A, then it is called near normal incidence. And in this case, the distance OB will become equal to OA. So I have written here, distance OB or BO is equal to OA. It is almost equal to OA. And for the distance BI, this is the distance BI. This distance will now become this distance from B to I. Okay, from this distance from B to I, this distance will be almost equal to the distance AI, right? Since the point B is very close to the point A, therefore the distance BI will be almost equal to AI, right? Therefore, what we have written here is the distance BI is almost equal to distance AI. So, if you substitute these values in this equation, then the refractive index of B with respect to A, refractive index of B with respect to A becomes OB by BA, and that is nothing but instead of OB, we will have to write OA. So, I have written here OA or AO. And in the bottom, in the denominator, what we have? BI. Instead of BI, we can write here AI. So, this becomes AO divided by AI. Now, in this formula, AO is the real depth and AI is the apparent depth. So, the refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first medium becomes equal to the real depth divided by the apparent depth of the object for this diagram. Okay, so this is a very important formula. What is the refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first? That is equal to real depth divided by the apparent depth. Okay, this is very important formula, so please keep it in mind. Let us now study another phenomenon which is also related to the refraction of light. Okay, that is the early sunrise and late sunset. Now in this diagram we have considered here the earth. Okay, there is an observer on the surface of the earth, and this is the atmosphere surrounding the earth. The earth is surrounded by the atmosphere, it clears. Now this is the horizon of the person up to which the person can see, which this observer or this person is on the surface of this earth. What is his horizon? This is his horizon, means up till which he can see, above which he can see the objects, and below which he cannot see. Okay. Now in case of sunrise, when the sun is below the horizon, when the sun is actually below the horizon, the rays of the sun goes along this direction. Okay, it suffers refraction in the atmospheric layers. And this sunlight is going from a rarer medium to a denser medium. Therefore, this rays bends towards the normal. Okay, since this rays bends towards the normal, so this sunlight, the light rays from the sun, after suffering refraction, goes and reaches the eyes of the person. Now, what happens here is the observer or the person sees the sun rays to be coming from this direction, or he sees the image of the sun here. Okay, why this happens? Because see, in this diagram, the actual position of the sun is here. At the time of sunrise, the actual position of the sun is here, but the sun rays goes in this direction, they gets reflected in the atmospheric layers. Okay, and after suffering refraction, those rays goes and reaches the observer. Now if the observer sees along the direction of those rays which are coming to his eyes, then he will see the rays coming to be along this direction, means he will observe the image of the sun to be at this point. So this is the apparent position, of the sun. This is the actual or original position of the sun. This is the actual position and this is the apparent position of the sun. So even though the sun is below the horizon, which the person actually cannot see, but due to refraction, an image of the sun is formed at this point, which is above the horizon. Okay, for that reason, the person is able to see the sun or the image of the sun, even though the sun is below the horizon, or even before the sun arises above the horizon, the person is able to see this sun or the image of the sun at this point. So this is called early sunrise. That means even before the sun actually rises, the person is able to see the sun. Means to the person, the sunrise happens, or the sunrise occurs a bit earlier. Okay, similar is the case in the for sunset. So when the sun sets in this direction, the sun goes below the horizon of this person. Okay, the sun has reached this position. This is the actual position of the sun. But what this person can see is, even after the sun goes below the horizon, even after the sun has already set, but the person is able to see the image of the sun. Okay, so even after the actual sunset, the person is able to see the sun or the image of the sun at this point. So what happens is, the person is able to see the sunset even after the sun has actually set, or the person is able to see the sun even after the sun has actually set. So there is a delay in the setting of the sun. Okay, so this is the phenomenon of early sunrise and late sunset.